Think about the last time you sent a vulnerable text message. Maybe it was to someone you had feelings for. Maybe it was a risky joke in a group chat, or a message to a friend you haven't spoken to in a while. You hit send, and then you wait. You watch the screen. You see the read receipt appear, and then nothing. Silence. They ignored you. What happens to your body in that exact second? Your chest tightens, your stomach drops, your throat feels hot. You feel a literal physical ache inside of your body. Society has a phrase for this. We say your feelings are hurt. We call it heartbreak. We treat it like it is a metaphor. We assume it is just an invisible, abstract emotion floating around in your head. And we tell you to just get over it. But society is wrong. Social rejection is not a metaphor. It is not just an emotion. And right now, millions of people are walking around with invisible bleeding wounds, wondering why they are in so much pain. Let's do a thought experiment. Imagine you accidentally touch a hot stove. Your hand recoils instantly. A sharp, violent pain shoots up your arm. Why? Because your brain is screaming an alarm. It is telling you to move your hand or you will lose it. That physical pain is a brutal survival mechanism. It exists to keep your body alive. Now, think back to the silence of that unanswered text message, the tightness in your chest, the pit in your stomach. What if I told you that your brain literally does not know the difference between being ignored by a friend and being burned by a hot stove? To understand why your brain is actively torturing you over a read receipt, we have to look at the terrifying science of human pain. In 2003, a neuroscientist at UCLA named Naomi Eisenberger decided to test the literal limits of human rejection. She wanted to look inside the brain at the exact millisecond a person gets left out. So, she took a group of volunteers and put them inside an fMRI machine. This is a massive, claustrophobic scanner that maps blood flow and neural activity in real time. She gave each volunteer a small screen and a button. They were told they were going to play a simple virtual game of catch with two other real people in different rooms. The game was called Cyberball. For the first few minutes, everything was completely normal. The little digital avatars toss the ball back and forth. You press a button, you throw the ball to player A. Player A throws it to player B. Player B throws it back to you. It was simple. It was innocent. But the game was rigged. There were no other people. The other two players were just a computer program. And after exactly 40 throws, the program was designed to do something very specific. It was designed to completely ignore the human volunteer. The two computer avatars started only throwing the ball to each other. They cut the volunteer out of the game entirely. The human participant just lay there inside the loud, cramped scanner, watching a digital ball go back and forth, holding a button that no longer did anything. They were being socially rejected by a piece of software. Eisenberger watched their brain scans in real time, and what she saw completely rewrote modern medical science. The exact moment the participants realized they were being ignored, a very specific, deep region of their brain lit up. It is called the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex. Why does this matter? Because the anterior cingulate cortex is not an emotion center. It is the exact same region of the brain that activates when you break your leg, or when you smash your hand in a car door, or when you touch a burning hot stove. The participants weren't just feeling sad. The fMRI scan proved they were experiencing literal biological agony. The brain does not have a separate system for hurt feelings. To your nervous system, a broken heart and a broken bone are processed using the exact same neural circuitry. Tylenol has even been shown in clinical trials to reduce the pain of a breakup. But this raises a terrifying question. Physical pain exists for a very obvious reason. It stops us from bleeding to death. It stops us from walking on a broken ankle. So why would evolution wire our biology to inflict that exact same brutal agony just because someone didn't throw us a digital ball? To find the answer, we have to rewind the clock 50,000 years. Imagine it is 50,000 years ago, the Pleistocene epoch. The world is actively trying to kill you. The winters are brutally cold. Food is scarce. The forests are filled with apex predators that are faster, stronger, and far more lethal than you are. You do not have thick fur. You do not have fangs or claws. You are a soft, slow, hairless ape. Your absolute only advantage in this brutal environment is the tribe. Early humans survived in tight-knit groups of about 40 to 50 people. You hunted together. You shared calories. You huddled around the exact same campfire to keep from freezing to death. In this ancient world, there was no such thing as an independent human. A lone human was a dead human. You needed the tribe for absolute survival. Now, imagine you do something to annoy the tribe. You steal someone else's food. You fall asleep while on watch. Or maybe you are simply too weak to keep up. The tribe doesn't have a courtroom. They don't have prisons. They use the most brutal punishment in the history of our species: ostracization. They freeze you out. It starts small. People stop making eye contact with you. They stop sharing their portions of the hunt. You are pushed to the cold edges of the campfire. And then, one morning, the tribe packs up and moves to a new hunting ground. And they don't wake you up. You are left behind. In the Ice Age, exile was an immediate death sentence. You would starve, freeze, or be eaten within a matter of days. Because social isolation meant absolute certain death, the human brain had to develop a warning system. An alarm so loud, so terrifying, and so impossible to ignore that it would force you to change your behavior and get back into the tribe's good graces before it was too late. But the brain didn't have time to invent a brand new biological system just for social alarms. Evolution is notoriously lazy. So, it simply hijacked the system that was already working perfectly: the physical pain matrix. When the tribe started pulling away from you, your brain flooded your body with the exact same agony as a physical wound. It screamed, "You are dying! Fix this!" That is why rejection hurts. It is a biological survival mechanism. It kept your ancestors alive, but 50,000 years later, the world changed, and your brain did not. Fast forward to today. You are sitting on a soft couch in a temperature-controlled room. There are no wolves outside your door. You have a refrigerator full of calories. You are physically absolutely safe. But in your hand, you are holding a glowing rectangle of glass. And inside that glass is a massive global simulation of the tribe. In the ancient world, you might face the threat of exile once in your entire life. It was a rare, catastrophic event. Today, we have engineered a society that delivers micro-rejections 50 times a day. You post a picture online, and it gets 0 likes. You send a message, and you are left unread. You get swiped left on a dating app. You are excluded from a group chat. To your logical modern mind, these are just pixels on a screen. They don't matter. But your primitive brain does not understand the internet. It does not understand smartphones. It only understands the rules of the Pleistocene epoch. When you see that you have been left unread, your ancient brain looks at the situation and panics. It sees the modern tribe turning its back on you. It thinks you are being pushed to the edges of the campfire. So, it pulls the biological fire alarm. It hits you with a dose of physical agony, screaming at you that you are about to die alone in the snow. This is the great evolutionary mismatch. This is why modern anxiety is skyrocketing. We are living in a society of infinite connection, but we have accidentally built a machine of infinite micro-rejections. We are bleeding out from 1,000 invisible paper cuts. You are not weak for caring so much about a text message. You are not too sensitive. You are simply human. The pain you feel in your chest is the exact same pain that kept your ancestors alive long enough to create you. It is a biological masterpiece. It is a feature, not a bug. But here is the tragic irony of the modern world. Your brain is pulling the alarm, flooding your body with agony, desperately trying to reconnect you to the tribe to save your life. But the people on your screen, they aren't your tribe. They are mostly strangers, co-workers, acquaintances, and you are enduring the agonizing physical pain of ancient exile from a village you never even belonged to in the first place.